I went in wandering into the supermarket wondering what I should be cooking for my next episode. These colorful vegetables caught my eye. They were in all colors: green, orange, yellow, red, and some of them even double shaded.
Hi, welcome to another edition from my Indian kitchen to yours. This is Rajshri Mudaliar. You guessed it right. Today I'm going to show you a dish that can be made out of bell peppers. But before that, this whole confusion about bell pepper. When I arrived in United States, I was introduced to this thing as bell pepper. And I heard that this is also referred to as capsicum in Australia and New Zealand. So it always kind of got me thinking, why are they calling this a pepper? And bell, yeah, I understand the shape of the bell, right? This is the shape of a bell. But why pepper? For me, this is pepper, right? This is not pepper. So I kind of was like always wondering and guessing, and my husband is a history buff, and he told me, you need to read this book. It is An Edible History of Humanity by Tom Sandwich, and you will find a solution to your question in this book. I would highly recommend this book. It is fascinating. People who love food, or who love history, or who love both food and history, do read this book. It takes you through different journeys in different continents. So I read this book, and I'm going to summarize a little bit about how this thing got its name as bell pepper. In the late 1400s, the Europeans were looking for the black gold. The black gold was really the peppercorn. They had heard about this very valuable spice, and they were interested in procuring the spice. Christopher Columbus actually sold this idea to the King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella to fund his trip, and promised to bring back this black gold. And we all know that he had miscalculated the miles, and so he believed he had reached the land of Asia, but he never did. However, on his first trip, he reached Cuba. He didn't find anything in Cuba, so he further sailed southeast, and he found islands which he called Hispaniola. In Hispaniola, he thought he had found some cinnamon and rhubarb, but even that is very controversial. But in his log, he wrote that he found this vegetable which the local natives believed was more valuable than pepper. They thought of 5 grains of this vegetable was equivalent to 20 grains of the peppercorn found in Malabar coast. And what he actually was referring to was chili. So either the red or the green chili. So he took it back to Europe. He took it back to Europe and convinced the Europeans that this is chili pepper, a variation of the pepper. I guess that's what the Europeans believed, because they had never seen pepper. And since then, anything in the family of chili got the extension of the pepper attached to it. So it is either chili pepper, or if it was bell-shaped, bell pepper. So whenever I start cooking this bell peppers, capsicum, I just love this. I just love cooking this. It always brings a smile to my face about Columbus's cover-up. But anyway, so let's see what ingredients we need. And the recipe that I'm going to give you is very, very simple, but very, very tasty. So this recipe is from my sister-in-law Rajani, who lives in Hyderabad. Thanks, Rajani, for sharing this recipe with me. I started making this, and it's a big hit with my family. So we need bell peppers, as many colors as you can possibly find. And fortunately, this is not a seasonal vegetable. You get it year round. And then I have 1 onion and 3 tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of cumin, Ginger garlic paste. If you don't have ginger garlic paste, you can use ginger powder, garlic powder. There's a tablespoon of turmeric, 2 tablespoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of coriander, a tablespoon and a half of chili powder. Not too much, because there might be a little bit of a chili, spiciness from this. And this is the most important ingredient, and something very special is chickpeas flour or besan. And this besan really transforms the dish. It adds to the taste, and it actually sucks up all the moisture to make the dish really a little bit dry at the end. My pan is heated up now. I'm adding approximately 3 spoons of olive oil. And when it gets a little heated up, I'm going to add the cumin, and hear it crackle. And very quickly, before the cumin burns, we're going to add the onions to it. So get the onions going, and we're going to keep moving it around and frying until the moisture from the onions is all gone. The onions are sufficiently brown, so I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, and I've also said you could use the powder if you don't have the paste. So let's give it a little bit of toss. So the onion, the ginger garlic kind of is cooked a little bit, and I'm going to add the tomatoes. Time to add salt to bring some more moisture out of the onions and tomatoes. And we want to reduce the moisture. Like I said, our goal is to keep this dish a little bit a dry dish. And that's the reason I slice the onions versus chopping the onions. The smaller the onions, the more moisture it's going to express. And so now rest of the ingredients goes in. In goes the turmeric, the chili powder, the coriander powder, and then the cumin. I always save the cumin a little bit to the end. My viewers know that, to get that freshness at the end. And my non-Indian friends, if you do not have the chili powder, the coriander, cumin separately, no worries whatsoever. All you need to do is you need to add the curry powder that most of you have in your pantry. So I am going to kind of fry this a little bit. Oh, look at all those chopped bell peppers. Beautiful colors, and you want to chop them longish slice because they shrink. So it's okay to start with little bigger pieces. So in goes all of the bell peppers. And make sure they are all coated well with the onion and the spices. See that everything is well mixed, and I'm going to close the lid. You do not need to add any water. The steam will do the job, and you have to remember the bell peppers have a skin, and the pulp is very well hydrated. And so the pulp is, when it starts to cook, it's going to produce its own moisture, and the steam combined, it's going to be cooked very well, very quickly. So this is 3/4 done. I feel it's soft to the touch, but it's still crispy. And you can see the amount of moisture that's come out on its own. And this is what we want to now absorb. And this is where we add the chickpeas. And the chickpeas does the trick of absorbing the moisture and also giving it that extra taste. And you can see that it really transforms the dish. So what I'm going to do is kind of give it a mix. And very quickly you see all the moisture disappearing. You can see it has become really dry, but you need to, the chickpeas has still a little bit of a raw flavor. So what I do is I cover it a little bit, not completely, because then it starts to sweat again. So you want to just give that chickpeas a little bit of a steam to cook. This is where comes my finishing touch, where I add a little bit of fresh cumin and give it a mix. Finish it off by adding the cilantro. Hold on, we are not done, because I'm going to show a little variation of this dish. So this is where the vegans, the vegetarians would stop. This is fantastic with the rotis. You could have it with the rice. Some of you must be thinking, I wish there was a little bit more protein in the dish. Yeah, there is chickpeas protein, but that's not enough. So if you want to get some little extra protein, add a little oil and wait for it to get a little heated up. And then comes the surprise, 2 eggs beaten up. And I'm just going to drop it in the middle here. I'm going to scramble the egg and then give it a good mix. So don't mix the capsicum yet. Wait for the egg to become 3/4 scrambled. Okay. So here you see it has started to, sorry, I'm going to turn the pan. And so we are going to mix it all up. This is going to be really, really, really delicious. So there's this 2 versions of one dish. It would be interesting for my non-Indian friends to watch how we make our rotis, the Indian bread, or something that looks like a tortilla. So, sorry, I never use any utensils here, and that's why I don't have any fingerprints on my thumb. Okay, so we put it once, and then we turn it, and once you start to see the bubbles coming up, that's when we take it off and then put it directly onto the flame. And do you see how this turns out to be like a ball? And then you turn it one more time. You get that smokiness into the bread, and it's all done. Here's the finished dish, and I'm going to show you how to plate it. Indian version plated. To make it look like a Mexican taco or tortilla, what you could do is You could scoop out some of this and add some cheese to it, and you could add any of the strips of chicken, whatever you like. So I'm going to add a little bit of guacamole, and some sour cream. So we transformed this dish into 3 different things. So here is your vegetarian taco, and I hope you'll give it a try. Our very dear friends Dorigos would be very pleased with my effort. I hope you enjoyed the historical trivia about the bell peppers. To me, it'll still be the sweet capsicum. Thank you for watching From My Indian Kitchen to Yours. Please subscribe, share with your friends. Hope to be back with you soon with another fun episode. Thank you for watching.